Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here again. This actually is going to be the third video that I have made today. The one you'll see tomorrow, but this one will definitely go up today. It is still Tuesday, August 6, 2019. We just actually had a rain shower roll through here, and so that was fun. And did that, but you can see now from the earlier video that I did, it is definitely overcast now. So well, it looks like it's clearing up that way. But we've had a real good day solar-wise still, even with the cloudiness and stuff like that. I think we're at 5.8 right now. But let's get into this topic, okay? So I just want to jump right into here. We're going to talk about Hong Kong and China. Okay, so we're going to do a little background first, so people that don't know. Hong Kong used to be a British colony, and was so for it was a little over 140 years. They were a British colony. They gave Hong Kong back to China in 1997. So just a little over 20 years now, it has been back under China's control. Now, Hong Kong has its own autonomy. Okay, so they're part of China, but they're not part of China. Okay, so you know, I think it's by 2043, I believe, is the year that they will be completely under complete China jurisdiction once again. But so what happens is they have judicial independence from China right now. So they're part of China, but they're not part of China. They have their own form of government over there, and they do their own thing over there. So protesters have been protesting for 9 weeks now, 9 straight weeks. And they're going to talk about what led up to the protest to start with, and then we're going to go about what's going on with the protest and the demands for the protest, okay, what the protesters are demanding. So basically what happened was, a couple of years ago, a man from Hong Kong and his girlfriend went to Taiwan. And while they were in Taiwan, they checked into this hotel room, and only he left the hotel room. He killed her, okay? Well, then he flew back to Hong Kong. And Hong Kong and Taiwan do not have an extradition agreement, okay, or a treaty, extradition treaty. So the Hong Kong government decided to put in this extradition treaty, but they also were putting in this treaty to extradite people back to mainland China as well, to be prosecuted for crimes in China. And so the people in Hong Kong do not like that, because obviously China itself has a little bit more of an iron fist, and it's a little bit more open in Hong Kong. Okay, so the demonstrators have been protesting that bill, and they have a couple other demands as well. Okay, so the bill is now suspended. They did suspend the bill, but they have not removed the bill, decommissioned the bill. Okay, so that's what, even though the bill has been suspended, it can be still brought back in at any time. So, but the protesters want it to be completely eradicated. They want it gone. They don't want it to ever be brought up again. They also would like, and you're going to like this one, guys, they would like an independent council to oversee the allegations, and I love the word allegations there, of police brutality by the police. Okay, they want amnesty for people that were protesting, and they also would like the resignation of the leader of Hong Kong, and her name is Carrie Lam, L-A-M. Okay, so that's what their demands are. Basically, Monday they shut down all of Hong Kong. More than 200 flights were canceled. I believe it was upwards in the 250 flight range was canceled, because they did a complete boycott of everything, and they shut everything down. Monday alone, I think over 140 people were arrested. They used over 800 cans of tear gas on Monday alone. So far, since the protest has started, they have used 1,600 cans of tear gas on the people, more than 300 bullets. Rubber bullets have been fired, and more than 500 people have been arrested. Okay, with the protests. Okay, so that is definitely something, you know, that So anyway, these protests, guys, have been going on for 9 weeks. All right, they become more violent lately, unfortunately. I don't always think that violence is the answer. As you guys know, and I've talked about this before, I'm not a big fan of protesters, even if it's something I believe in that cause that they're protesting for. I'm not a big fan of protesting. Just never have been. I don't think it does a whole lot of good. But you know, so like here's an example. Okay, now I want you to think about this. So protesters got the governor of Puerto Rico to resign. But, and here's the thing, this is what kills me. Who appointed the new governor? The old governor. I mean, he got kicked out because of corruption and was forced to resign because of corruption, but he's the guy that appoints the new governor? So again, you know, I mean, the more things change, the more they stay the same, and that's kind of the way that goes. But anyway, so what was I going to say? But anyway, so part of the thing is with a lot of Hong Kongers, what their concern is that their rights are being stripped away before, you know, they're giving up more and more of their rights, and that's one of the things they're concerned about. And so that's why they don't want to have this. Now, there are Chinese troops in Hong Kong, guys. The Chinese government has basically warned people, do not play with fire because you will not like the result of that, okay? They've already talked about that. They've already said, China has already said, Carrie Lam is not going to resign. She's not going to leave. Is the figurehead in Hong Kong. So when I talked earlier, I was talking about, in my first video that I did today, I was talking about the Kashmir, and you know, talking about that over there and stuff, what's going on. I think what you're seeing around the world, I think you're seeing more and more people waking up, realizing that we've been played for forever and ever and ever, and they've had enough of it. As the governments around the world enact more and more control over the people, people are getting tired of it. If you think about the amount of control that they have done here in the United States to the American people, even over the last 20 years, guys, it is absolutely ridiculous. And we willingly have given up our rights in the guise of safety. And, you know, and that's not, you know, you're never going to have that. It's never going to work. And so, you know, these things happen, and this is going to continue to happen. You're going to see people are getting sick of the status quo, of the government making up all the rules and not thinking of what the people want. And there's going to be more and more of these protests happening. I see it happening, and it's going to continue on more. And I think that's what you're going to see. And so, these freaking bugs are crazy. So anyway, I definitely want to hear your guys' feedback on what you think of this situation, what you think of the whole thing with Hong Kong, the Chinese government saying that, you know, because they will come in here and they will crack heads, guys. They're not going to tolerate stuff. I mean, this has been going on for 9 weeks, and it's affecting the economy and everything else over there, obviously. And so I think China said, do not interpret their standing off and not doing anything as weakness. I think it's a really good warning to pay attention to, because the Chinese people are not somebody to screw around with. Now, here's the thing too. Now, so China has said that they believe a lot of these protests are basically Western influence, people in the background stirring up trouble, okay? And one of the quotes that they used, and you're going to love this one because she's an idiot, of course, Nancy Pelosi called the protest a beautiful sight to behold. Now, again, if you're in for protesting and stuff like that, that's all well and fine. But once it turns violent, that is not a beautiful sight to behold, okay? Like I said, personally, I don't like protesters, as you guys know, and I've talked about that. I don't think it does any good. Not in the long run, because they're still going to do whatever they want to do. You know, but unfortunately, like I said, you get people, that's how they feel that they can do something. They can rise up like that. But I'm going to tell you what, I think that if they continue in Hong Kong to do this, I think you're going to see China come in and crack some heads. And that's an unfortunate thing, but that will absolutely be something that is a possibility. But again, I think more and more people around the world are waking up to the realization that we've been played for a very, very long time, and I think that they've had enough of it. I got to show you this here, guys, while I'm just talking. These freaking crazy cats just kind of chilling out in the driveway. So like I said, again, I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are on this topic. What do you think, okay? Again, I could understand them setting up an extradition treaty with Taiwan, but I can also understand why they don't want to do that with mainland China, because, again, it's just China exerting their control that much more, and they have the right to do so. And, again, it's just... it's a matter of time before things don't end well. That's the way I see it, unfortunately. But anyway, like I said, I do want to hear your guys' thoughts on this matter. So again, like I said, I'm going to throw this up here so you can see how overcast it is now. In the earlier video, you could see the sunshine, but then at the end of it, I showed you the clouds moving in. And we did have a shower come in and hit earlier. So I'm going to take you in real quick, and we're going to look at the power, and I'll show you where we're at with that. And remember, guys, we are all in this together. That is important to remember, you know, and we just got to try to do the best that we can do to try to help each other out as we can. Also remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. And so that's really, really important, because nothing is guaranteed. So right now for the day, we have pulled in 6 kilowatt hours. I've pulled 2.6 kilowatt hours on this side, 3.4 kilowatt hours on this side. We're in float, which is great. The batteries are at 99%. So really doing well. And of course, we're still bringing in power. But like I said, we pulled in 6 kilowatt hours on the day. So real good day again, power-wise. It's been doing really well. Since we put the new system up, it has been absolutely awesome. The last thing I want to tell you guys is STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that can stop you from getting there is yourself. Nobody else can stop you. Stay positive, stay away from negativity, pay attention to what's happening around the world. It might not affect us directly, but indirectly down the road it will. Okay? So I will talk to you all later. Have a great day. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.